Hello, good morning. This is Siva Divakji from MassMailer. Thank you so much for joining the webinar today. Today we're going to talk about the IP address pools and what all things that you need to know about them and how important it is in the email marketing. To start with, what is an IP pool? IP pool is nothing but a group. It's a group of individual IP addresses that are used to manage the sending reputation of the sender email domains. Just to explain, let's say you signed up for with MassMailer. We provide you an IP address, dedicated IP address provided. You subscribe to the dedicated IP address plan, and that's one IP address. Let's say you sign up with multiple IP addresses. We provide multiple IP addresses to you, right? And if you want to create an IP pool, you can kind of group them, or you can now actually create an IP pool for individual IP address. And then you can actually use that IP pool to manage the sending reputation of your sending email domain. So if your email domain is called abc.com, that email domain will have its own sending reputation. So if you want to manage the reputation in a proper manner based on the types of emails that you're sending, then you would be using this IP pool. So that's kind of a concept behind that. Again, why do we really use this IP pool? The main purpose is to protect your sending reputation for the most important email that you're sending. Again, when I say most important email, it has its own meaning on how you're going to perceive it, meaning like for various teams in your organization, they may have certain importance for the emails that they're sending. For example, if it is a product team, they want to send product updates to the customers. They will feel that it is very important that all the emails would reach our customers because it's very important. And similarly, there's a security team. Maybe they needed to have some sort of a security notification sending out to the customers. So they may have certain significance on the emails that they're sending to their to the end users. And similarly, marketing teams and similarly the sales team. So everybody will have certain importance associated with the emails that they're sending from their particular department or the email domain. So based on what your needs are, you would end up creating the IP pool so that you can actually protect your sending reputation, not really kind of conflicting with other departments' emails, other reputation. I want to kind of segregate it, and then that's the reason why you create this IP pool. Okay. The few business use cases that we can take a look at. The first thing that comes to my mind is the transactional emails versus marketing emails. So the transactional emails are examples such as invoices, maybe shipping notifications, maybe outage information, product update kind of thing. These are all the transactional emails where the customer or the recipient will have to receive these emails. They cannot really opt out, or there's no chance that they can opt out, right? So those are transactional emails, very important for the overall organization if you really look at it. Versus the marketing emails are basically important, but at the same time, not that important when you really compare with the transactional emails. Let's say you classify two types of broad level emails that are going on from your company email domain. Now you want to secure each one of these email reputation. Perhaps you may be using some subdomain for each one of these email types, and you can assign an IP pool for transactional email, which is different from the marketing email. That way, you're not really kind of you know, there's no conflict with the email reputation. You're keeping the email reputation separate for each one of these use case scenarios. So that's one business use case. And then let's say you just talk about only the marketing emails that you're sending, and then a certain number of users who are highly engaged and certain number of recipients who are not really engaged properly with your marketing emails. You will know by looking at the number of clicks, maybe number of opens, how much time they're spending on your website, so on and so forth. Various metrics that you may have, based on which you will know who are engaged more time versus the people who are not really engaging in your emails. And if you want to really kind of secure, again, the reputation for those most engaged people, you can create an IP pool, and then for that segmented list of contacts or leads who are most engaged, you can divert the traffic via one IP pool versus the least engaged to a different IP pool. That is another business use case scenario. Okay. And then there's one more that we can look at. So let's say you have various departments or sub-organizations in your company. As we talked about, it could be security team, it could be product team, it could be maybe the support team, various departments, and they want to, they have various types of emails that are going out from your company, and then they want to use different IP address. You can create an IP pool for each one of those departments, and then you can assign them so that they don't really cross each other's email reputation. And finally, this is then the business use case where if your company is having multiple domains, meaning like, maybe for prospecting purposes, you would have created a separate domain versus your business organization emails are coming from a different domain. So you can create IP pool for each one of your domains, because MassMailer lets you add more as many domains as possible, and then you can create IP pool and assign that IP pool for various domains, and that's one more classic business use case scenario. Okay. And finally, just a caution here. So while IP pools are very helpful in the business emails, at the same time, using too many IPs is not good, meaning it looks suspicious to the mailbox providers. So if you're sending out too small of an amount of emails across numerous, many IP addresses, it is considered as a spam. So don't just overuse IP pools just because that feature is available. So you got to be very, cautious on how many IP pools are using. The various metrics that you can follow, like the number of emails that you're sending per day, for example. Maybe it is, 25,000 plus emails that you're sending per day. Then that could be a very important milestone that you would want to add more IP addresses to your organization. And similarly, the email types are different from different teams, and you want to secure the IP reputation for each department, so you can have multiple IP addresses. But again, you will have to make a judgment call that, hey, am I overusing my IP addresses, the IP pools, for the tiny amount of emails that you're sending? So you got to make a kind of a judgment call based on the email volume versus various email types. Okay. Now let's take a look at how you can define IP pool in MassMailer and how you can actually send this your emails using various IP pools. Yeah. So in order to define IP pool, you would go to MassMailer setup, and then email settings tab, and then there's something called IP pools. So you basically go to this IP pools, and then here you can actually create your own IP pool. IP pool. So again, I have various IP pools that I've defined here. An example IP pool one that I created, there is an IP address that I've assigned already. Let's say if I want to create another IP pool, I'm going to call this as IP pool 2, and then I'm going to add an IP address. So how do you know what IP address is assigned to you? You just have to come to us, ask, okay, what all IP addresses that we have assigned to your account, and based on that, you can create an IP pool. So I'm just going to copy one of the IP addresses from here, and then go to Salesforce, MassMailer, and add that IP address. And then you can add more than one IP address for an IP pool. So for example, or take this and add it there. I'm adding one more IP address for the same IP pool. So this IP pool has got two IP addresses, and this one has got one IP address. You can see that, based on various scenarios, you can create an IP pool. So for domain 1, you can have different IP pool, domain 2. Similarly, for various departments, you can have different IP pools defined. So that's how you kind of classify. So once you have these IP pool stuff defined, then the standard approach is you basically go to the outreach, and then you send emails. So let's say we are sending emails to a contact object, and then let's just pick one of the list views there. So we have a list view that is selected, and then clicking on next, and then I would just maybe select a folder and select a template. We're just going to go send it from the logged in user. And then in the delivery options is where you're actually going to go select your IP pool. So for example, if you want to use the IP pool 1, you just say IP pool 1, and it lists out all the IP pools that you have there. Okay, so I just select that, and then go to the next step. And then finally click finish. So that's how you basically send out an email using IP pool. And again, you can quickly take a look at the IP pool information. So typically, when you send out an email, if you open up the email address, so the email that you received, and if it's in Gmail, you can actually just show original, and then it actually shows the IP address that has been used to send this email, and this is how you can actually validate if the right IP address is being used or not, if you want to test it out, provided you find an IP address to an IP pool that's what you used at runtime. Okay, so that concludes the demo of IP pools today. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask right now. Okay. Seems like no questions. So once again, here is my contact information. You can reach us out either through our website or personally to me. can also, if you're interested in listening to our webinars, it is a weekly webinar every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific. You can look up at this link, massmailer.io slash join dash webinar for the upcoming event. If you are part of our email list, you would also receive the email communication from us on the upcoming webinar that we have. Once again, thank you so much for joining the webinar today. Have a great day or a great night.